أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الله الكبير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الله الكبير. We're indeed grateful to God for giving us this opportunity, and this is not by accident, this is by divine design and providence that we're here, and we're able and willing to go through this task that is should be an honor and a privilege for us, and we should look at it as a favor that God has bestowed upon us, not as something that's going to hinder our day or take away from other activities that we think that we should attend to today. This takes priority, and so we have to be cognizant of this fact that God has chosen us today to be here, and this is a huge honor and blessing that is bestowed upon us. So we are getting closer to God by doing this, and that should be our goal, and we should strive in that cause all the time. And everything that God is telling us to do, we have to do, and everything that He tells us not to do, we should avoid and not do it. And if we slip, we have to ask God for forgiveness and make us do better the next time. And above all, we have to be grateful to God that we are here today and we are going through this exercise, and it is only getting us closer to God, and that should be an honor and a privilege for us. Again, gratefulness and thankfulness and appreciativeness is a godlike quality. He's always grateful for all the goods that we do in our lives, and so we have to reply in kind, return in kind, and be grateful to Him. And so this should be a huge honor for us today that we are here. And today, what I wanted to discuss with you, I just wanted to go to the Quran, and let's see what I did with it. I closed it, I think. Yeah, I did. So let me go ahead and open it. And we go to chapter 36, verse 81. And in that verse, God is telling us, He said that is the one who created the vacuum and matter, not able to create the likes of them? Yes, indeed. He is the creator, the all-knowing. So the word has been used here as Huwal Khallaqul Alim. And this is the perfection of creation. And that's what that word means. Perfection of creation. And so we go to chapter 15, verse 86, and we are إن ربك هو الخلاق العليم. Again, the same thing. Indeed, your Lord is the creator, the knower, the all-knower. And so God is telling us about this, and then He tells us in chapter 40. Let's see, what did I do here? 40, verse 57, I believe. And so I went through all these verses, and it said, God says, indeed, the creation of vacuum and matter is greater than the creation of human being, but most people do not know. Okay? And so why is He saying that? What is, people think that, we are the center of the universe, and that's how people think. And we should learn this, that we are nothing, absolutely nothing. Okay? These things that God is telling us, absolutely nothing. So He actually showed these things. And then God is also calling Himself the best of the creators. Okay? So he has given that power of creation to his creation, whom we are. Okay? One of them was Jesus. Okay? And so what happened in 349 that we just read, and we didn't pay too much attention, as usual, and 349, there it is. Okay, so let me just go there before he jumps. Okay. So he tells the children of Israel, he says, and as a messenger to the children of Israel, I'm indeed coming to you with a sign from your Lord. Indeed, I create for you. Inni akhlaqu lakum. I create for you. Okay? From clay, the shape of a bird, then I blow into it, therefore it becomes a bird by God's leave. Okay? Remember the creation of man? God said that he created him from clay. And he says, once we blow into him from my spirit, then you shall honor him. Tells the angels. Okay? Remember that? So he has given this power to some of his creation. We are creating things. But we are creating things from something else. And so I hope that I can transmit these things, these feelings that I have, and these understanding that I have to everybody. And it's very difficult because, sometimes I get resistance. Okay? And so let me just go to this picture here. Yeah. This picture I've shown in some of my talks. I used to show it in some of my talks that I gave. And this actually shows the cosmic rays. And these are, as you see, it says H, which is hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and so on. Okay? So this is what God created from nothing. Okay? So what was the idea behind this whole thing, all this creation? Look at this. It says hydrogen. After that, after hydrogen and helium, the most abundant elements in the universe are C and O, which are the elements of life. So later on is basically a mechanical thing. The act of creation becomes a mechanical thing or a chemical thing that God arranges. And that's what he did. He permitted Jesus to do. Okay? Again, unfortunately, you see, we are going through these things, and I ask, are there any questions? No questions. We just go through these verses, and we are not paying attention too much to that. Okay? But this gives us a forum to go deeper into these things and actually find out about why God is saying these things. Okay? Why is he calling himself Tabarakallah Ahsan al-Khaliqin? Why does he the blessed is God, the best of creators? Okay? So then when God says, you see, now this makes sense now. You see, because the ingredients were already created by God from nothing. Because in chapter 41, God says, then he says to the vacuum and matter come into existence, willingly or unwillingly. So somehow they had some kind of spirit or something. I don't know what they had. We can't fathom it. And they said, we come willingly. Okay? This is the beauty of it, and this is where science and math and your faith they all get into together. And so we know why we are doing these things. We are not just blindly following somebody. Okay. The word Al-Khaliq has been mentioned only once in the Quran. The entire Quran, you look at the entire Quran, Al-Khaliq is only reserved for God alone and no one else. And that's chapter 59, verse 24. Okay. Al-Khallaq, as I showed, has been mentioned twice. Okay. Means that this is the perfection of creation. Okay. And so I also said that the way that these things are actually produced, carbon is produced in the center of the stars, in the belly of the stars, and the way they are doing this helium here, which is an alpha particle, two of them get together and they produce beryllium right here. This is beryllium-8. The problem is beryllium-8 is unstable. It decays immediately, 10 to the minus 16 seconds. Okay? That means 10 billionth of a nanosecond. Okay? A nanosecond is a billionth of a, so it's a 10 billionth of a second. It immediately decays. The thing is that God created a resonance in carbon. So another alpha particle bumps into this beryllium before it decays and sees this huge gate in there called the resonance. And it immediately gets together with this beryllium-8 and makes a carbon-12. Okay, that is amazing. If that resonance did not exist, you and I would not be sitting here and doing this. But it did, and carbon created, and as I said, then oxygen created, because another of these heliums they got with carbon-12 and make oxygen-16, and some of them became nitrogen. Something bumped out one of the protons in the thing, in the oxygen, or added a proton to carbon and made it made it nitrogen. So it made it that CNO, which is the basis of all the plants and all the animals and all of the human beings, okay, became the most abundant thing in the universe. So when he says that the creation of vacuum and matter is greater than the creation of man, but most people do not understand because they don't understand. They're still arguing on those things. Okay? And then you see here what he says. Okay, what this is absolutely mind-boggling. Okay, when we pay attention to this, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Indeed, I create for you from clay the shape of a bird. Then I blow into it, therefore it becomes a bird by God's leave, and I heal the blind and the leper, and resurrect the dead by God's leave. Can you imagine that? Then we are questioning, is God going to resurrect people? This is a simple act. This is so commonplace, so unimportant, let's put it that way, for God. Okay? To sit here and argue with you or me that he's going to resurrect the dead. Can you imagine that? Can you, the audacity of that thought? Or heal. It's a commonplace, unimportant thing for God to do. Okay. It's absolutely amazing. The leper and resurrect the dead by God's leave. And I inform you what you have eaten and what you store in your homes. He knows everything about them. Can you imagine that? Indeed, in this there is a sign for you if you are faithful. They were not faithful, so these things were shown to those people, and they did not believe. Remember in chapter 17, see, if you bring God and his angels, we would not believe. And then people ask, how come some people go to hell? I mean, somehow, for some people, God is the bad guy. And all of these people are accusing him of everything under the sun. These are the people who have knowledge and everything, but they don't, obviously. They can't see these things. Okay? I mean, you see, for somebody of faith, this picture here, it speaks 1,000 for you. This spectrum that I'm showing here speaks 1,000 for some person who is a person of faith. It says, look, life was supposed to be part of the creation of the universe, supposed to come as a secondary chemical thing. Nuclear and chemical things, they got together. All those laws that that people read they go to school and they pay good money and everything, and some of the stuff is wrong anyway, but so be it, doesn't matter. Okay, a lot of people buy lemons. So anyway, all of these things that we see in here in front of us, right, to us as a person of faith, as people of faith, it speaks a different language. Okay. So, and we are, we are here, as I said, we're sitting here and we are enjoying this, and so thank God for this opportunity that we have, because obviously we don't have those kind of opportunities during the Quranic study, or we just go through the motion of going through those verses without delving deep in them and see what God is saying to us. Okay? And so today, this is what I wanted to say to you, and then we'll become better human beings as a result of this. We become more informed human beings. That we know why we are here. What was the design? This thing is not going to change. This spectrum is not going to change. So it's been life upon life upon life upon life. Okay? This actually comes from cosmic rays, not here on Earth. This comes from cosmic rays. The entire universe. Okay? So, as I said, this is becoming a vehicle through which actually we can get closer to God and understand Him better. Okay? The verses in the Quran makes more sense to us why He's saying these things. Okay? As I said, these are commonplace, unimportant stuff for God. And then we question. How can He resurrect the dead? This and that, the others. Okay? And all kinds of stuff. Okay? We have no knowledge. Okay? We are too arrogant to accept it, to accept the proof. Okay? So these things were shown to Satan, to Iblis. Okay? Hopeless guy. Okay? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if he was like Satan? You have no hope, nothing to look forward to. Okay. I'm going to stop here and we'll finish this unit. Allahul Kabir.